Now, anyone that's played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom will be pretty familiar with the Bokoblin, the most basic enemy that you're going to end up fighting no matter what in this series at some point or another. But some of you may not know that the Bokoblin's been a staple for over 20 years now, appearing in over a dozen games over the Zelda universe. And it all started in 2003 with the Windwaker. Now, this model of the Bokoblin is pretty dope, I can't complain too much. It's a very smooth and soft model, as is pretty much everything else in Windwaker. But unlike the Bokoblins we know today, this guy only has a small pig nose, not the giant honker that today's Bokoblins have. They came in 3 colors, being green, blue, and red, and this is a trend that will continue for Bokoblins for quite a while. And it also had a very human battle cry. And after Wind Waker, we moved on to Twilight Princess. And as the Bokoblins evolved in this game, they really evolved horribly. I mean, I get it because the vibe of Twilight Princess is supposed to be dark and disturbing and nothing like Zelda had ever seen before. But honestly, this looks crazy. He's got the Kofi Kingston hairdo in the back, with a face only a mother could love. His skin looks like he's been smoking Newports for every week of his life for the past 50 years. And overall, it's just a horrible looking design. And unlike previous and future games, these Bokoblins only came in 2 colors, that being sort of red and sort of blue. As you can see, these colors are very muted and very hard to distinguish, but you will notice that there is no green Bokoblin in this one, and I think the reason for that is because that color palette was given to the Bulbins, so it makes sense that they didn't want to use it on Bokoblins as well. This Bokoblin also did appear in Crossbow Training for the Wii, which is very similar to Twilight Princess and utilizes a bunch of enemies from that game, but I figured it was important just to bring up that he also appeared in that game as well. After that, we move on to Skyward Sword, and the Bokoblins are starting to return back to their normal look while also evolving slightly as well. But these guys, they kind of look like Sloth in my opinion, alright? They're very plumpy and not very intimidating. They can't really be taken that seriously, honestly. And they got a giant honking nose like Mario. Now these guys' screech is pretty annoying, and honestly they're not too useful in battle. They can easily be wiped out, especially in Hyrule Warriors where almost everything can be wiped out pretty easily. But this design of the Bokoblins was probably not, in my opinion, the best of the best. But after Skyward Sword, and then after a 6-year wait, we finally got Breath of the Wild, where the Bokoblins would finally make their return once again. And also Tears of the Kingdom, since the Bokoblins kept the same model through both games, with the most polished and detailed design I've ever seen. They modeled these ones, in my opinion, very well. While still remaining scary and intimidating, they're not overly disgusting. They're highly detailed and come in many more colors than any of the previous games, that being red, blue, black, white, gold. But just like Twilight Princess, there is no green Bokoblin in this game, which, you know, doesn't matter. But this model is definitely one of the best, and these Bokoblins are definitely the smartest. Sure, in Skyward Sword, some of them had pretty dope weapons, but in Tears of the Kingdom, they have Link's fuse ability as well. They're also not a nuisance. I mean, you can farm these guys and genuinely get good materials from them, which makes these Bokoblins the best Bokoblins to ever grace Legend of Zelda. No questions asked. These Bokoblins also do make an appearance in Hyrule Warrior Age of Calamity, where they updated the Bokoblin model from the Skyward Sword variant to the True and Blue Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom variant. And as a little bonus, I do want to include the Cadence of Hyrule, which is a fan-made game but was licensed by Nintendo. This game also did include Bokoblins, though it's not a true Legend of Zelda series. I would like to talk about them real quick. These guys have a very cute model, closely resembling the ones we know from Breath of the Wild, but aren't nearly as useful as the previous game because these guys only can drop hearts or rupees. But regardless, it is still a very good model. Other than that, that's all I gotta talk to you guys today about Bokoblins. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you might like my last video where we talk about the previous mobs that got removed from Tears of the Kingdom. And if you want to watch that video, it'll be popping up on the screen, so give it a click. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.